Yo, what's up my people? Nova Fourth Prince here, and I just want to bring I just want to talk to you guys. Nothing to do about Judgment. I've got a gameplay, it's not amazing. I go MVP, but yeah, the other team seems to be pretty good as well, so what can you do? But what I want to chat about today is Bruce Lee. I'm going to title this Influential People Bruce Lee, and I shall be doing another part of this with another influential person, but there is only going to be two parts because I only feel there's been two people I can think of at the top of my head who are as influential as my other person who's going to be in a week or so, and Bruce Lee. So let's get on to Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, as far as I'm concerned, is the only superhero that ever has actually lived. The guy was just simply amazing. People would say that he was made like mahogany, do you know what I mean? And if he walked into a room, he'd have a certain aura. He could do finger push-ups. He could break a ball dangling. So you know when people hold up boards for karate experts so they can break a board? Well, he'd do it like with the ball dangling on a piece of string, which is like incredibly hard. He also was the one that brought forward the 1-inch punch and stuff like that. This guy was that good at martial arts. He had his own fighting system. You know what I mean? Most people just go, I got a black belt in karate, I got a black belt in taekwondo. Bruce Lee had his own fighting system, and I feel he was that great because he was also a philosopher. He was well into his philosophy. He was a big fan of Jada Krishnamurti, and I actually have read a lot of Jada Krishnamurti because of Bruce Lee. You know, it's that spiraling effect. You get interested in one person and then you move on to another person through the first person, and yeah, he was a great philosopher. I will be leaving links in the description, mainly probably on talks. I might even put in some of his acting stuff that some of you guys might not have seen, or is not as well known as his films, but he obviously is well known, and that's where his fame comes from, is from his acting career. And I just feel that his charismatic charisma on screen was just amazing. Like, you watch things like Fist of Fury and that, when he walks in and just his facial expressions, and he was just a talented actor. But that's why Bruce is here, and that's why I'm talking about Bruce, because anything he did, he was amazing at, which is something that obviously I lack, and I suppose 99.9% of the rest of the population lack as well. Whereas Bruce, anything he did or put his mind to, he was actually very talented at it. So drawing, he was a dance champion as well. He was a cha-cha champion. Acting, choreography for martial arts, drawing, he was an author. You know, a director as well, because he also directed Way of the Dragon, and you know, stuff like that. You don't get many people who can do all these things and be amazing at it. You know what I mean? You know, and the fact he had his own fighting system. Bruce Lee was actually that deep that his own fighting system, which is called Jeet Kune Do, or Way of the Intercepting Fist, or Foot, he actually kind of denounced that himself later in his career or life. You know, he actually just said, my fighting system, what I said, has its flaws, has its weaknesses, and it's still not the perfect fighting system. Where for someone who has founded something or done something, to actually look back at it and go, maybe that wasn't the great, maybe there's links in there, or to really analyse their own work. You know what I mean? You ain't going to see people at Apple analysing the next iPhone, you know what I mean? They're just going to be saying it's the best thing ever, you got to get it. Whereas Bruce was really serious about that sort of thing, and could really look at something and then go, like his work, and go, oh, why isn't this perfect? Why isn't that perfect? Just looking for that perfection, and it seemed that Bruce was that sort of person. But obviously we all know Bruce from his acting career. He did 4 films really, which was, well, he did lots of films as a kid because he was a child star, but they weren't really martial arts inspired. They were just acting films, and obviously a route to get Bruce into acting, I feel, when he was a child, and just so he knows certain things for the future. But yeah, he did Big Boss, Fist of Fury, which was also called Chinese Connection, I believe, in the States, and he also did Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, and Game of Death. Game of Death, really, if you buy the Game of Death, isn't really Bruce's film. It was a film that was kind of Bruce started and people finished off after his death. But there is quite a lot of footage of what should have been the original Game of Death, when the idea was that someone had got together the best martial artists to fight your way up this pagoda, which is like I want to call it a Chinese tower block, is the only way I can see it. And every floor of this pagoda had a different martial artist in. And Bruce Lee and his other people had to go along and fight their way up. This film was never finished as it should have been, but there was a lot of it filmed. There was a Korean martial artist in one of the floors, and there was Abdul Karim Jabbar. Don't quote me if I pronounce his name wrong, but he was one of Bruce Lee's students and also a great basketball player. The guy's like, I don't know, he's like 28 feet tall or something crazy like that, and just that fight scene with him and Bruce Lee in that for that film is like awesome. I should try and see if I can find the actual footage for that and put that in a link in the description. But just even though he did so little films, he was inspiring actor, you know, maybe one of the greatest actors who's ever lived, I believe, you know what I'm saying? He was just, guy's a legend. Obviously Bruce Lee died I think it was June 20th 1973. Don't quote me on the complete date, but I know it was 1973. Bruce Lee passed away, so that was even before I was born, and ever since I was a kid I kind of was like inspired by Bruce Lee. Now, how Bruce Lee died, I think there's probably more rumours and stories about how Bruce Lee died than there is about JF Kennedy's death, you know what I'm saying? And there's not even video evidence to kind of spin on that, so yeah, but I don't want to talk about how he died really. It was more about how this guy lived, and he was amazing. He also had 2 children as well, Shannon Lee and his son Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee, I don't know if you guys know, you probably do, that he also died very young, and that was on the set of The Crow. There was a problem in one of the scenes, I think it's one of the last scenes in the film, where there's a big shootout, and I don't know if there was real bullets in a gun or someone got too close with a blank. Don't know the full stories, but yeah, he did get shot on set of that film, which was a huge shock as well. It's kind of like, you know, when you've got someone as special as Bruce Lee around, and you've got a son who is, to be honest, very similar to his father. Not meaning so much looks, but the way he talked, the way he conducted himself, and was also a great actor, man, and quite a good martial artist as well. And just to know that he died early as well was, I think, a big shock and a big loss. I think there's a lot of actors out there who have probably took a lot of parts that Brandon Lee should have really had, but obviously couldn't because his untimely death. So yeah, man. But yeah, Bruce Lee, there's lots of books as well. There is his own fighting book, which is Jeet Kune Do. I do have a copy of it. It is very complicated. I think he writ that as well. He damaged his back at one stage, and I think doctors said, you ain't going to be able to walk, mate. You can't do martial arts no more. You done. But he just spent his time sitting in bed and writing his own fighting system, and the drawings in that book as well, everything's kind of done by Bruce Lee, the sketches, and as an artist excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink. As an artist, Bruce Lee was like really good at art. He's one of them people, everything he did, you know, I'd like to have a game of Gears of War with him, because I swear he's one of them people I feel you could just get on it, work out how to move around the map, and then within 3 or 4 games it just do you over, man. Job done. And that's just, yo, Bruce Lee was just a superstar, completely and utterly superstar. Like I say, I will leave links in the descriptions so you can see about that stuff. He's also in a lot of TV series as well. He was in the Green Hornet, which was kind of the program that come out before the old Batman, and obviously now you know the Green Hornet because they got the films and that, and my son actually uses his gamer tag is the Green Hornet, as you guys know, and he was Kato, which was the Green Hornet's sidekick, which is basically like Robin in Batman basically, but a lot better as well. So yeah, I think a lot of people in the Chinatown communities of the time when Green Hornet was on used to call it the Kato show, because that's what Bruce Lee's character's name was. He was in Longstreet as well. I think it also writ and come up with the idea for Kung Fu, but the people who were in charge of finding someone to do Kung Fu didn't want Bruce Lee. Don't know if it was because he was Chinese, if they whatever, but they actually got David Carradine to do it instead, and that's what really made Bruce Lee say, man, screw Hollywood, I'm going to go to the Orient, Asia, and make movies over there. And kind of so glad he did as well. Obviously his big budget American film was Enter the Dragon, which was Warner Brothers, a Warner Brothers film, but Bruce Lee, he also had a contract on him. I think it was Black Belt magazine said if anyone can beat Bruce Lee, you get like so much money and a film contract. So obviously there was a lot of like young bucks wanting to fight Bruce Lee, and a lot of people would obviously challenge him in the street. I think Enter the Dragon was a really hard time for Bruce Lee, just because on set everyone was there who was like martial arts into it and up for challenging Bruce Lee, man. And I think Bruce Lee got into a lot of fights with that stuff. As far as I'm concerned, never got his ass whipped. Do you know what I mean? The guy was a beast, absolute legend, man. But anyway, that's the end of my commentary. I will be bringing another one of these again soon. I hope you like, people. Much love and peace.